Hey guys, I'm Little Art Demon and welcome to my channel. And how are you doing today? I hope you're feeling good, but if you aren't, I wish you feel better soon. And today's video was really fun to make. It is still part of the Pride series here on the channel, but it's different from the 5 previous videos. If you haven't watched those, don't worry, you can always watch them later, there isn't a particular order to them. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Let's get started! So, some weeks ago I took a break here on the channel to deal with some stuff, and while I was away I asked you what you'd like to see here. And Yulia commented with the suggestion to explore the world of this Pride series. And I found that really interesting. I've grown really fond of these characters. So today we'll be exploring a little bit more of the school, namely the uniforms, or kind of uniforms, you'll see what I mean in a second. And if you haven't watched any of the previous parts, this may be a little bit confusing, so let me give you some context. In this Pride series I turned Pride flags into characters. But they aren't just people, they're witches. Each of them has studied a different power and they're all teachers at a magic school. There are 15 of them so far, and I don't think I'll design more unless there are suggestions of any other Pride flags you'd like to see. But anyway, I started to fall in love with this world and magic system. And maybe one day I'll write a story about all of them. And for that I need to flesh out the other aspects of the universe. And since they're all teachers, they'll need students to teach. And that's who we are focusing on today. The story itself isn't necessarily Pride focused, and when I say that I mean that the characters I designed so far are inspired by the Pride flags and each of them are aligned with the respective flag. So for example, the trans flag character is trans, the bi flag character is bi, and so on. And while that can affect the story in some way or another, it won't be the focus. I'm not thinking about making a super dramatic story with drama and danger and fight scenes. It will be more of a cute story with normal life drama with some magic in the mix. It will be more about the teachers, the school year and the students. And those characters, the students, won't be inspired by Pride flags. I'm sure when I work on the story I'll make some student characters, but for now I just drew some of the teachers when they were younger, just to show off their school supplies. And most of them were students in that school when they were younger, so these are like older pictures of them. Magic schools in shows or movies tend to have a witchy uniform. And I do have a story about a magical school with a magic witchy uniform. But I didn't want this to be similar to that for 2 reasons. The first one is that I want stories to be separate. They don't take place in the same universe. And the second is because these uniforms tend to be mostly black or other dark colors. And don't get me wrong, I love an all-black outfit, and a black outfit with some rainbow accents just rocks. But I don't think that's the vibe for this colorful series. All the teachers are allowed to wear these awesome colorful clothes. I don't think it would be fair to impose these plain outfits onto the students. And I would like to just talk about uniforms for a moment. I never went to a school with uniforms, but I know that there are advantages and disadvantages to them. But I've always found it awesome that I could express myself through my clothes when I went to school. And I know that one of the arguments behind the implementation of school uniforms is that everyone is wearing the same, so there's no discriminations in terms of clothes. But honestly, most of the discrimination I saw at school were not related to the clothes. I'm not saying that was never the case, but it wasn't the primary reason. And what's that primary reason? Well, there isn't one. Bullies just pick a person randomly, that's how it feels sometimes. But I won't go too deep into that topic, it has nothing to do with this video. The point is, I think in a universe based on Pride, the students should be allowed to express themselves with their appearance. Of course there are some basic rules, but none of the crazy dress code rules I've seen here on the internet. I get so shocked when I hear about certain schools, it's crazy. Here in Portugal you can wear whatever you like to school, and as long as you aren't breaking any laws, you're probably good to go. At least at the school that I went to. But as you're seeing, I've already made some drawings on the background. And even though the students don't have a uniform, I still decide that they need some sort of thing that tie them all together. And I did brainstorm a few different ideas, and I came up with this. Every student will have a backpack given by the school for them to carry their supplies. I thought about giving them a smaller bag instead, but I love the big backpack so much I couldn't let go of it. But they also have a smaller bag, they can use whichever one suits their needs. And both of those can be personalized with pins or ribbons or whatever they would like to add. These bags are made special to be resistant and lightweight, and a magically light backpack would have been a lifesaver sometimes. But besides the backpack, they also have some class-specific material. I drew this sort of lab coat thing, for example, I think some of their classes would be messy, so I decided it could be fun to have them in transparent raincoats. It's supposed to protect them and their clothes. There are also gloves and goggles to go along. I imagine depending on the class they could have some other supplies, and of course they have just regular writing material as well. But the most interesting part of this all, in my opinion, is something that symbolizes their knowledge. I thought about giving them some sort of emblem system, or maybe something with ribbons. I don't know, my brain traveled through a lot of different ideas. But I landed in one that I think is very sweet. At the beginning of the year, each student is given a different potion bottle. The design would vary depending on their grade, but the purpose would be the same. It starts empty at the beginning of the school year, but then it is filled. With what, you may ask? With these little orbs. I don't know what word to describe it best, but it isn't as small as a grain of sand, but an orb sounds too big. It's something small, around 2 mm in diameter and roundish. These little grains are given to the students by the teachers. I'm unsure if they would get them when they finish an assignment or when they finish a class. It would most likely be dependent on the grade, but I'm still unsure how to do it exactly. Maybe if their grades go from 0 to 20, they get 1 grain for each point. So with every class, you get more grains in your potion bottle. By the end of the year, I imagine there would be a ceremony. Each student would need to bring their bottle, and to end the school year, each of them would be able to pick some orbs for themselves. I don't know if the director would speak to every single one of them individually, or if every teacher would take care of their classes. But the important part is, every orb color represents a different power. And by the end, each student can pick some orbs by themselves to add to their mix. They can do it in privacy or share it with the other people. After that part of the ceremony is done, they all take their bottles, fill them up with magic water or something of that sort, give it a good shake to mix, and they now have their potion. What it does is still somewhat of a mystery to me. I don't know if they drink it at the end of the year to solidify their magic skills, or maybe it has some special abilities. Or it could also just be a symbol. I don't know yet. But I think that's all I have for you today, so thank you for watching until the end. If you have any ideas, you can share them in the comments and leave your like too if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. I have a lot of plans for the channel and would love to have you here. Thank you again so much for watching, I truly appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!